If you work in university maintenance, Granger considers you an MVP because your playbook ensures your arena is always ready for tip-off. And Granger is your trusted partner, offering the products you need all in one place, from HVAC and plumbing supplies to lighting and more. And all delivered with plenty of time left on the clock, so your team always gets the win. Call 1-800-GRANGER, visit Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Dinner time. It's more than just a meal. It's when work comes to a halt, where macaroni masterpieces are made and little moments turn into lasting memories. With the Blue Cash Preferred Card, you can get 6% cash back at U.S. supermarkets. So you can bring home the flavors that bring everyone together. We did say everyone. Make the special moments even more rewarding. Learn more at americanexpress.com/explore-BCP. Terms and cashback cap apply with Blue Cash Preferred.
And so I'm sitting there and I'm talking to this dude and he says, "Oh shit, do you see her?" And I look up and I'm like, yeah, it was a girl. She was giving head and I was, it wasn't no big deal. And he was like, "Yo, do you know who that is?" And I look again like, am I supposed to know who that is? And he was like, "Yo, that's Randy's girl." Yo. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for checking out the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I'm 12 Kyle. All right, check this out. On this podcast, we're going to talk about bachelor parties. I'm going to, enlighten you with what a bachelor party is and, tell you how it goes down at bachelor parties. And I'm going to give you the exclusive on what went down at my bachelor party. And of course, I got a couple of funny stories for you. So sit back, relax. I'll drop the theme music and we'll get the podcast jumping. Let's get it. Welcome back. As I mentioned at the top, I'm talking about bachelor parties. Honestly, there's a lot that I can tell you about bachelor parties. Then again, there's a lot that I can't tell you about bachelor parties. And the reason being is that this little thing called man laws. So, I can't break any man laws, but I will keep it 100 with you. I guess we probably should start off with what a bachelor party actually is. By Webster's definition, and I know you don't need me to give you the definition, but I'm gonna give it to you anyway since you're listening. By definition, quote, a bachelor party is a party given for a man who's about to get married, typically attended by men only, close quote. Yeah, so that's what it is. I will say this, just as a man, I think other men, we tend to get pretty excited when we find out that one of our fellow men are getting married, because we know, one, they're getting married, and there's a level of it, of happiness and enjoyment for that person who's getting married. And then there's also some a level of happiness because of the shenanigans that will take place at the bachelor party. And there's always shenanigans that's going to take place at a bachelor party. I don't care where you go. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what your religion is, no matter what. Bachelor parties are usually off the chain. So I guess, you really have to kind of start there with the origin of what it is and then how we actually feel about it. I know, typically speaking, especially at the time when me and my friends were getting married, we were like, one of the first things you would hear, like you might get a text like, JoJo's getting married, right? And then the next text is, okay, what's up with the bachelor party? It literally goes like that. Where's the bachelor party going to be? What do we need to do? Are we flying there? Are we driving there? how much money do we need? That type of thing. So, the wheels immediately get in motion when, a wedding is announced and, it's time for the bachelor party. So, just like women tend to, or some women, I don't want to say all, just like some women tend to kind of go into full speed ahead motive when it comes to planning a wedding. Generally speaking, that happens with men when it's time to to plan the bachelor party. So full disclosure, I'm married. For those of you who don't know, been married at the time of this recording 17 years now. And so, I'm pretty sure just based off the title, you want to hear about what went down at my bachelor party because, I know that my bachelor party was off the chain, right? Of course it was. So here's what I'll tell you about my bachelor party. And I'm going to keep it a buck with you. My bachelor party didn't happen. Honestly, I did not have a bachelor party. And it wasn't because I didn't want to, because I really wanted one. I wanted one and I wanted it to happen and I wanted it to pop off and, all of these plans were supposed to be in motion. But typically speaking, the groom and the best man is usually responsible. The best man or the best men and his friends and guys in the wedding party and all of that stuff, they're usually the ones who are responsible for planning and, product and placement, if you will, for the bachelor party. In my case, the person that was responsible for my bachelor party was my younger brother, my brother Damon. So, it was up to him to plan it and everything like that. We had one little problem. I don't want to call it a problem because it actually was a blessing. His girlfriend, now wife at the time, was pregnant. And she was due right around the time of my bachelor party. My bachelor party was supposed to be obviously the night before my wedding. However, what happened was that his girlfriend goes into labor on the Friday, which is the day before I'm supposed to get married. So, so there goes the plans as far as the bachelor and the bachelor party and the best man planning everything or what have you. So I didn't see him. In fact, I did not see my brother until like 15 minutes before I got married the next day, which was cool. I mean, no problem, no big thing. But so the coordination of the bachelor party for me never happened. And now, yeah, there are other groomsmen. So, somebody could have picked up the ball, but given the location where our wedding was and, everything else, it was a lot of stuff going on. I don't blame him. I mean, that's my brother. That's the only brother I have. I love him to death. So, it's no big deal. I just didn't have a bachelor party. So, I have to go to other bachelor parties, and kind of live through them, if you will. But the right way. But nonetheless, man, so I never had a bachelor party. Now I will say, some things did go down, the night before my wedding. They didn't go down with me, but, I'll let, some of the groomsmen, I'll let them tell you about it. I'll let them tell that story. I'm not going to tell it on this podcast. So I never had one. When I look at the landscape of my friends, who have had bachelor parties, and I also have to think about the ones who are still single and have not gotten married. I've got a couple partners who, if and when they do get married, I'm going to be in their weddings. And, so that means that they are, bachelors and they will have a bachelor party. I got two friends, right, who I probably, and I can't necessarily claim this, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I'm probably going to be the best man at their weddings. And one of them, I think I'll probably be one of his best men. I'll be a groomsman. I won't be his best man. His brother's probably going to be his best man. So his if and when he gets married, his bachelor party is going to be nice. It's going to be nice. I will love planning that. I know it won't be here in the continental United States. So that will be fun. My other partner who I've talked about on this podcast, my boy Jay Fresh. Jay Fresh, I don't think he's ever going to get married. And I think he's totally cool with that. But Jay Fresh is a freak, right? So if you go to his bachelor party, everybody's fucking. I mean, like, well, not me, but everybody who can be fucking will be fucking. I mean, that's how he gets down. So, like, I know for a fact, like, it's going to be, like, mad strippers, like, mad everything. Because he's just like that. You would have to know him, but, I mean, like, he's I don't want to say nasty. He's just a freak. So, anything freaky that can be done, he's going to do it, and he's definitely going to do it on the night before. Which leads me to the thought of, I don't know when it came to pass where, because the night, traditionally, a bachelor party is just supposed to be a celebration of the bachelor, his last night of singlehood. Now, and I'm not going to sit here and say that every dude, bangs out a chick, at his bachelor party. That probably doesn't happen to most people. But it has happened. But I think, I don't know when that came about, when it was just like almost expected that the dude was supposed to smash some chick, some stripper or something like that at his bachelor party. I haven't seen it. But I do know that it's happened. So yeah, if and when Jay Fresh, if you ever hear me get on the podcast or you see me tweet or something about Jay Fresh getting married, which again, I don't think it's going to happen. I can't see him, not to say that he's not marriage material, but his ideas and thoughts of marriage, I don't think is gonna work. But if and when he does, his bachelor party, I will probably be the only person that's not having sex at his bachelor party. His bachelor party might be just a straight up orgy. He is that wild. So, nonetheless, so yeah, it gets me to thinking about, when I think about bachelor parties, I think about, my friends who have had bachelor parties and ones who haven't. And then, obviously you get to thinking about stories and memories of bachelor parties. I've been to a few. I'll put it like that. If I had to put a number on it, maybe 10, maybe. Obviously some of my closest friends who've gotten married, their bachelor parties were really cool. Ironically, the wildest bachelor parties were the ones that I went to with people who I would call necessarily associates, not necessarily friends. And there's a couple of things that I found that tend to happen at bachelor parties. First and foremost, rule number one, the wildest dudes at the bachelor parties are the married dudes. I don't know why. I know why, but almost every bachelor party that I've gone to, the wildest cat at the bachelor party was the married dude. I don't know if it's because he ain't been out the house. I don't know if it's because his old lady ain't giving him none. I don't know what the case may be, but generally speaking, the wildest dude or the wildest dudes at the bachelor party is the married dudes. And so, I don't know what it is. They just tend to just go, kind of hard. They kick it like that. So, I'm not here to disturb anybody's steez, but yeah, that's how they do it. And like I said, second thing I observed about bachelor parties is that here recently, probably in the last 20, 30 years or so, there's, depending on where you go and depending on who there's an expectation that, something's going to go down. Either he going to smash, you get some head or something. So, I'm not, and again, I don't want to get anyone into trouble by saying that happens at every bachelor, because I haven't seen it at the bachelor parties as far as my friends. Let me just clear my friends out of this. But some of the associates whose bachelor parties I've gone to, they can get kind of wild. Which brings me to a story. I remember going to a bachelor party of a friend of a friend's. So a cat who I knew pretty cool, so, and that's another thing too, like, you really don't want to go to bachelor parties for people who you really don't know, because there'll be other dudes in that circle, and, and that ain't really the space, where you really want to kind of interact with cats who you really don't know. There should be some type of level of comfort with the men who are, assembling for the bachelor party. Because you don't want to run into any lames, if you will, at the bachelor party. But yeah, so anything can and will happen at a bachelor party. I remember going to a bachelor party, and we were sitting in this guy's living room, and we're waiting on. And dude had a pretty nice size living room, so we're probably about 13, 14 deep, and it's supposed to be 3 strippers supposed to be coming through, right? So we in there chilling, and it's funny because this had to be like the early 2000s, I guess, and somebody put on a DVD, and so the dude in his living room, like, he had this big screen TV, he had like the surround sound, the whole nine, right? So of course they put in a DVD. The DVD's a porno. Okay, no problem. And for those of you listening, I don't think it's unreal for the idea of 12, 13 guys sitting around looking at a porno. Okay, so the porno comes on. Right. So, it's, you take a look at it, looking at it, whatever. So we laugh and we joking. For me, it's on, but it's not on. I'm not really paying that much attention to it because, I'm having this really funny conversation with the dude sitting next to me. And so, cat by the name of Ray. So I'm talking to Ray, and, I don't know, a couple minutes pass or whatever like that. And apparently, I guess, I'll full disclosure, this DVD that was on, it was kind of bootleg. So it was one of those low budget. And for those of you listening, don't act like you ain't seen no low budget porno. You know you've seen low budget porno. But anyway, another story for another day. So nonetheless, so it's low budget. So I guess the scenes changed or whatever, and a new girl was on the screen or whatever like that, and. So the, scene comes on again. I'm not really paying that much attention to it. And so, I'm sitting there and I'm talking to this dude, and he says, "Oh shit, do you see her?" And I look up and I'm like, "Yeah, it was a girl. She was giving head. And I was, it wasn't no big deal." And he was like, "Yo, do you know who that is?" And I look again like, am I supposed to know who that is? And he was like, "Yo, that's Randy's girl." I paused for a second, and Randy is one of his best friends. And I'm like, wow, are you serious? And the funny thing is, at that particular time, Randy had gone out to get some beer, and he was on his way back to the spot. Uh-oh. So immediately I said, "Hey man, are you sure that's his girl?" I was like, "His girlfriend?" He was like, "Yeah, that's his girl." He's like, "You see the tattoo on her shoulder?" He's like, and she had like this crazy lion and eagle tattoo on both of her shoulders. And he was like, "That's her." And from the angle that she was, giving head, you could clearly see the tattoo on her shoulder. And I admit I'd seen Randy's girl before. Now, judging from this video, I'm under the assumption that this video was filmed and recorded before she started dating Randy. Nonetheless, I don't know if Randy knows this, and Randy really could be walking in the door at any minute. So we're at the bachelor party, and so the dude was like, "Oh man, she nice, like giving all kind of compliments." And so dude was like, "Hey man, we need to turn this off." And so dude was just like, what man, we ain't turning this off. We're gonna keep this on until the strippers get here. He's like, "Nah son, we need to turn this off for real." And I was like, you know what? We probably should. Because to be honest, I didn't know what to do. So he got them to turn the DVD off. And like 5 minutes later, the doorbell rings. It's the strippers, whatever. And so he pulls me to the side and he was like, "Yo, should I tell Randy?" "Tell him what?" He's like, man, should I tell him that his girl is on this video? I was like, look, man, you do what you want to do. I'm about to go watch these strippers. And I walked out the room. And to this day, I don't know if he ever told Randy or not. I mean, again, anything can go down at a bachelor party. The second story I had for you was this one was weird. Okay, let me set the scene, right? There was a cat that I went to high school with, and he lived in my subdivision, and he's older than me, and he saw me one day, and he was like, one of the homies is getting married. And I was like, word. And I knew this guy, but I didn't know him like that. But he was like, he's like, come through. He's like, we having a bachelor party at his crib. And I was like, well, when the bachelor party? He was like, it's Saturday. He's like, come through. And the dude literally lived like 2 minutes away. So I was like, okay, that's dope. I can just ride around there, and I don't have to worry about drinking too much because I'm not too far from home, so I'm straight. So I get a bottle and I go to the bachelor party. So I get there, and so we're chilling or whatever. And again, I saw the dude who the groom, the future groom, if you will, dapped him up, said what's up, congrats, the whole nine. We sitting down. This dude, he's got this huge, beautiful house, huge crib, and so everybody's upstairs. I kind of make my way downstairs because he had like this theater room. I'm in a theater room and I was watching. I think the game was on or something like that. So I come back upstairs, and by the time I come back upstairs, the strippers are there or whatever like that. So it's probably about 15 dudes, right? And it's 4 strippers, and all of them was banging. All of them look good, right? So it's like, okay. So, they're talking or whatever like that. They're saying, what they're going to do and this and that. And, you kind of laying the ground rules or whatever like that. And, I really wasn't paying attention. I think somebody was texting me or something. And, one of the boys was texting me saying he was on the way. So I was texting him back. And I specifically heard one of the strippers say, like, look, one rule is don't try to stuff no money in my pussy. Okay, I mean, I can understand that. And so, I guess if somebody gives you a rule like that, I don't think that's too hard to comply, right? So anyway, cats cut the music on. My man, he's like I said, he's got this huge crib, and he's got surround sound. He's got, music blasting all through the house. Had I guess he had like the little DJ mixer or whatever like that. So he had the music going or whatever like that. So it was a festive occasion, man. The food was crazy, drinks. I mean, like it was so much food and so many drinks or whatever like this. I was just having a good time. I had a couple ones in my pocket. Anybody knows me knows that I'm not, you got to work for your ones when it comes to me and strippers. So nonetheless, I'm having a good time. I'm chilling. And so, like I said, it's 4 girls, 15 dudes. I'm again, at this particular time, I'm married. So, I don't need nothing. I'm coming there just to have a good time, and I'm gonna take my ass home, right? So I guess the strippers are probably about an hour in, So everybody's just they're getting dances, they're doing tricks and all stuff like that. And so I was interested in what was going on, obviously there, but I was also interested in whatever was happening in the game. So my plan was to go back downstairs to the theater room, right? So I go down to the theater room, and here's what happened. While I'm downstairs, upstairs, I guess one of the strippers was, she was doing the trick or whatever like that, and she was on her back. Just picture this, right? She's on her back or whatever like that. And one of the fellas, a married dude, I guess, that's my guess. I don't know, because I don't know who was the culprit. Tried to stick a 20 in her. And the next thing I know, she got mad and she just started cussing. And I could hear the commotion from downstairs. She got mad. She started cussing, motherfucker, don't you da 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 da. And she just going off. And then she reaches in her bag and pulls out a gun. Motherfucker, I'll shoot you. Okay. By this time, I'm on my way back upstairs. I see her with the iron in her hand. And I mean, it's like, this got to be like a 9 or something. Nice looking 9 too, by the way. And so by that time, I mean, like you could have heard a record scratch. I mean, like everybody who was drunk sobered up. Everybody who was high, sobered up. Everybody who was doing like the world stopped when she pulled that gun out. And so she was just like, fuck this. I'm done. I'm leaving. I'm out of here. And so she went upstairs into one of the bedrooms and she was just changing clothes, whatever like that. So the other strippers stopped doing what they were doing and they had to kind of go calm her down and everything like that. And so we were trying to figure out what happened and cats were talking or whatever. And so when I found out who the guy was that tried to stick the 20 in her, I was like, hey, homeboy. I pulled him to the side. I was like, hey, homeboy, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. You probably want to leave. If she's bold enough to pull a gun on you, you probably want to leave while you can. So, so homeboy left or whatever. And, we told her that, the dude had left or whatever. She was just so mad that she was disrespected and this and that. So, she had threatened to leave. They all had threatened to leave and, they had already gotten paid, I guess, at least some of the money they had gotten. So, yeah, they, but came back down and, finished doing what they were doing. So yeah, man, bachelor parties, anything can and will go down at a bachelor party. If you're planning a bachelor party, just make sure that you try to have some fun because that's what it's supposed to be about, right? Thanks again for checking out another edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I'm your boy 12 Kyle. I'll catch you guys next time. 5 G's.
When you manage procurement for multiple facilities, every order matters. But when it's for a hospital system, they matter even more. Grainger gets it and knows there's no time for managing multiple suppliers and no room for shipping delays. That's why Grainger offers millions of products in fast, dependable delivery, so you can keep your facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. When you manage procurement for multiple facilities, every order matters. But when it's for a hospital system, they matter even more. Grainger gets it and knows there's no time for managing multiple suppliers and no room for shipping delays. That's why Grainger offers millions of products in fast, dependable delivery, so you can keep your facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.